Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Happy Monday. Thank you for being here. Today I want to talk about something which is kind of fun, kind of not so fun, kind of a necessary evil. I don't know. I don't know the best way to describe it, but I'm going to talk about how to grow your social media pages. And this is something that I get asked a lot. So let me give you just a little bit of background about me and social media. I didn't want it. I never wanted social media. Back when Facebook first started, Instagram first started, I just, family and friends had it, and they would say, I don't even know, what did they say back in the day? What's your Facebook name or something? I don't know. I didn't have it. I didn't want it. I said, I just never had an account. I did have a Pinterest account though when that came along, because I was so happy to not have, you guys, I used to do binders. I used to have rows and rows of binders with the plastic inserts, and then I would cut out things from magazines or things I found like on the internet or whatever, and I would put them in those plastic inserts so everything was organized. And I would have like a party thing back then. That's when the kids were little. So like kids parties, and I would have home decor, and I would have DIY projects. And so I had all these binders labeled and all looking pretty, full of ideas inside of them that I had found, in magazines and things. And then Pinterest came along and I didn't have to do that anymore. So I definitely had a Pinterest page. But Pinterest is not a social media a platform. It's a search engine. So today I'm talking about your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok. So coming from somebody that was kind of late in the game of social media, I didn't understand what a tag was. I didn't understand what hashtags meant. I just really didn't understand why people would want to know. Back then, when it first started, I just had our little kids at home, and it was so different back then. So there was just nothing exciting going on during the day. So I didn't see a need for it. And then I started my website, mycreativedays.com, and started what I thought sharing projects and DIY things and what we were doing in our home, and, flipping furniture and those kinds of things. I was doing that so that family and friends could just kind of keep up with our projects. So then it got to the point, fast forward, and I found out that you could make money with this website thing. And I was thoroughly enjoying it. I was just enjoying learning as much as I could. I mean, any spare time I had, I was learning about this whole website blogging world. And I was obsessed with it. It was so much fun for me. I wanted to learn all the things. And, hey, by the way, you should have a social media presence. And I was like, what are we even talking about? Are you kidding me? So it's funny because I'm like, okay, I can do that. It's not going to be a personal page. I just did not. And I still do not have I don't post on any personal pages. I did have to get a personal Facebook page in order to get a business page. And I was like, are you kidding me? I have to have a personal page. So I had to set that up first before I could get a business page. But once it was all about, this thing that I was growing and helping more people in different platforms and in different ways, I immersed myself into it. I learned everything I could about it, and I've spent years and hours doing it. And so I think we're at 210,000 followers on Facebook, and we are very close to 40,000 on Instagram. TikTok is new to me, so I'm posting there, but I haven't it's like one extra thing. I just, I'm present, but not as present as I maybe should be just yet. So that is definitely something I'm going to work on. And these things that I'm going to talk about today are it's the same thing I'm going to be doing on TikTok to grow that account. And like I said, Pinterest and platforms like YouTube, and those are more kind of search engines, but yet you still want to do some of these things on those platforms as well. The first thing I'm going to tell you is that only pick one platform to start doing these on. I think that we get really, really, we think we have to do all the platforms and do all the things, and don't do that. Pick one that you enjoy spending the most time on. So if you spend all your time on Instagram, like consuming content, then you definitely should start on Instagram. If Facebook is your jam, then definitely start on Facebook. If it's TikTok, go with TikTok. So wherever you're spending most of your time anyway, that's the platform that you need to dive in head first and do some of these practices. So let me just get into it. I just kind of have a list of how many here, about 15, and I'll kind of go through them quick. Some of them are pretty self-explanatory, but these are the things. I get this question a lot. How did you grow? How can I grow my account? How can I, and like I said, social media has changed a lot. There's algorithms that are going to change, and something that works this week may not work next week. And so you definitely have to be flexible. And that's not even on my list, but let's just start off there. You have to be flexible, and you kind of have to go where the algorithm's telling you to go. You have to kind of, for lack of a better term, play the game, right? So social media's got their algorithms, and they're going to push content out that is within that, what they're wanting to show. And so right now, reels are really, really important on Instagram. Those are getting pushed out. But I just said this morning, as I'm recording this in March, I am seeing Instagram kind of go back to kind of just like where it's the still photos, which I'm kind of excited about. But for the longest time, and still now, reels are important. So you definitely have to be posting reels. So definitely be flexible. And just when you think you've got it and it's going good, it's normal. It's going to start to plateau, and you're going to be like, what, are you kidding me? Like, this was the same thing I kind of posted yesterday, but now I'm getting no reach. And yesterday, I reached 1 million people, but that's totally normal. That's totally the name of the game, and it's just part of it. So just make sure that you understand that going in and be flexible. So number 2 would be consistent. You have to be consistent. That is my number one rule to anybody posting anywhere on any platform. You've got to think of it like, if you think about it like your favorite store. If you are a customer going to your favorite store, if it is, open on a Monday, and you go back every Monday, and sometimes it's open, sometimes it's not open, sometimes the hours are different. Like, you can't, it's not consistent. You can't rely on when it's going to be open. Then you start losing customers. You start losing people coming to your account. You start losing an audience because they can't rely on you being consistent and doing the things. You may post really great for a week or two, and then it's crickets for a month. Like, that's just not good. Number 1, it's not good for the algorithm. And number 2, it's just not good for the audience you're trying to build. They want to rely on you. They want to know that if you're posting every day, then it's every day. If you're posting 3 times a week, then you stick to 3 times a week. If you think starting out that you can only post twice a week, go all in at twice a week, but do not miss that twice a week. And if it's Mondays and Fridays, stick with Mondays and Fridays. Now, I don't want to dive all the way into this right now, but you will learn as you're growing to figure out when your audience is on your platform and on where you're posting most, so then you can kind of change your times to that. But be consistent about when you're going to post and how often you're going to post. Next is you have to be real. Do not try to make it a production with, that's just unrealistic all the time. On Instagram, well, before it, the pretty pictures, you never got to see what was behind the scenes. And I always said, when I would post it sometimes on my account, I wish more authentic, real pictures were shown here and were celebrated here. Because behind this pretty living room or whatever it is, there is a complete nightmare mess that you don't get to see. So you definitely want to obviously post what the platform wants you to post, but be real about it. So maybe it's in the caption, like you've got, your living room, you cleaned it all up to take a photo, and you're taking photos of it and you're posting it. But then maybe say, if you could only see behind this camera what the kitchen looks like, just so I could get a photo of this living room, or whatever it is, just so you've got that bit of realness. Like, your living room doesn't always look like this, and you are a real person. This is the real person behind this platform or this account. So if you can be real, the amount of comments you will get from people that say, I just love that you're real. Every single time I come to your account, I just know that you are real, authentic. You show the good, the bad, and the ugly. So definitely make sure that's part of your kind of posting strategy. And then show the real. Like I said, show what's, if maybe it's not like on your actual Instagram feed or your Facebook feed, but maybe you do it in stories. Scan that messy kitchen behind you and say, this is real life. This is what it takes. This is what it looks like for me to have that living room looking perfect, all clean, pillows where they're supposed to be, throws where they're supposed to be, but behind me, this is what it really looks like. So show that too. Just show the real and be real in your captions and in your photos and your content. Know your niche. So here's a good one. So if you are a recipe person and you are sharing food all the time, the last thing you want to share is, I'm trying to think, knitted baby clothes that maybe somebody gave you or something. That was way out of left field. I have no idea where that came from, but basically what I'm saying is stay in your niche, stay in your lane. As you grow and as your account grows, use your stories and stuff to kind of show more of who you are. But if I came to you for recipes and food, to your account, like that's why I started following you. I've been interacting with you about recipes and asking you about recipes or how to cook this or how to bake that. And then you start showing knitted baby clothes because that's on the brain, I guess. That you're just going to throw me off and I'm just not going to want to come to your account because again, it's not consistent content and I can't rely on you to keep giving me that food content which is what I came for. But as you grow, use your stories to kind of show them. Maybe you like to knit clothes on the side. Show that in stories. And you can always create another account. We won't even start that now, but you can create another account around that little side hustle you have or your Etsy shop if that's where you sell whatever. But just you want to stay in your niche when you're growing. You just want to keep giving that kind of dialed down content because that's what people came to your account for. So definitely stay there and niche down. The more you can niche down, the better. So it's, it's healthy recipes. It's 30-minute recipes. It's cookies. You only bake cookies or you're a cake decorator. Like that is your jam. That is what you want to share. So that's what it is. So you've got a niche of cooking and recipes, but if you can niche it down even more, to just being, decorating cakes or just baking cookies, that's even better because then you're narrowing it down even more. And then that helps you plan your content as well. Know your audience. So it's always a good idea to ask your audience questions, see what posts are getting engaged on, see what stories they're liking, see what kind of content they are really kind of jiving with and what they're really responding to, what they're commenting on, what they're sharing, what they're liking, what their messages are to you, maybe in the back end. Know your audience so that you know what you should be posting and what they really like. And then no matter what your niche is, no matter what your audience is, no matter what time you're posting, how often you're posting, or how consistent you are, you need to serve. You need to serve your audience. So they are coming to you and your account for certain things, and you want to keep giving them those things they're looking for. Recipes, DIY tips, painting tips, decorating on a dime. You keep showing different ways on how to do that. Knitted baby clothes. I'm thinking of patterns or something. You just want to keep that, you want to keep serving them. You want to keep giving them that content that helps them solve a problem or helps them figure out something or see something in a new light. Maybe your account is just about entertaining. Are you funny? Are you telling jokes? Do you like to create funny memes? Do you maybe that's what it is. And so your account is to entertain somebody, but make sure that you keep doing that and you keep serving them with that. Okay. And make sure that you're using the different content that each platform has. So make sure you don't just stick to one style of content, meaning you should be doing videos, you should be doing reels, you should be doing lives, you should be doing posts. You should be doing carousel posts. You should be all these different things that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't think TikTok really has anything different, but the different ways for you to create content on these platforms, you definitely should be using all of those. And make sure that you stay active and you are active. So you want to comment, you want to share other accounts. You want to do to others what you want them to do to you. So, if somebody likes your post, that's great. If somebody comments on your post, that's even better. When somebody shares your content, that's like the golden ticket. So with that being said, do those things on other accounts that you are enjoying and you are liking. If there's an account you love or they posted something great, like it, comment on it, and then share it with your audience if you think it's something they would enjoy. Those are the kinds of things that you doing those things, the things that you want other people to do on your account. Definitely make sure you're doing that on other accounts, because it's just good. Get in the habit of doing that early, and you'll reap the benefits down the line. Okay. Another thing you need to do is don't post and ghost. I don't know if you've heard that. So, before you start posting anything anywhere, spend 5 minutes and just engage on other content. Answer your DMs, just be active on the platform before you post for 5 minutes. If you can do 10, that's great. And then post your content. Post it and then, share it to stories if that's what you're doing, depending on what you're sharing. And then do not just put the phone down. Do not just, walk away. You need to spend at least another 5 minutes on the platform. If people are, responding right away and seeing it, they're commenting on the post or the video or the reel you just did, comment back. The best thing to do is if you can, it's social media, okay, right? So you're supposed to be social on it. So when somebody says to you, like you share a picture of your living room and they say, oh gosh, now I have to come up with something. I love that color on your mantle. Something like our mantle is too dark and I want to lighten it up. So then I would say, well, what color is your mantle? What color are you thinking about going? So you can kind of keep the conversation going, and it's not just you're hearting their comment. Be social. Get the conversation going. Interaction with the people that are commenting, and just stay on that platform for at least 5 minutes. Again, the longer the better, but you just don't want to post and ghost. Share. So you want to make sure that you share other people. You ask your audience to share your content. If you liked this reel, share it on your page. If you liked this post, share it with your audience. If you liked this video, share it. You want that share. You want those people to share your account, get it out in front of their audience, because then there's just more eyes to get on your account and to grow your account. Another thing to remember is you want to stay on brand. And so this is something I can get into on another day, or we can dive deeper. And we actually have some offers coming up to work with you guys more on a one-on-one basis for this kind of stuff. But you just want to kind of stay within a look. That is, when people see if it's a graphic you're making or it's a post you're doing, when they see it, they don't even have to know that it says, like for my creative days, they will just know, like by the colors or the style or the font or whatever it is, the graphic, that is from my creative days. You want people to click. You want people to see something and know it's your brand, if that makes sense. So if you're just starting out, that's something I wish I would have known about way early on. Like I had no idea that was a thing. Like I said, I started this as a hobby to share with family and friends. So I had to learn everything from literally the ground up. And so staying on brand and kind of keeping everything kind of looking the same without looking the same, just with same color, same font and all that. You want people to recognize you just by those things. So that's what it means by staying on brand. Another good tip, do not compare yourself. The best thing on any social media is the unfollow button. Unfollow those accounts that make you feel less than, you're not good enough, their account's so much better, their home's so much bigger, they have so much more money. Her hair and her makeup are always perfect, mine isn't. She's always so fit and sharing, exercises, and I haven't worked out today. Any of those accounts that make you feel like that, or like make you question those kinds of things, or make you feel less than, or like, oh, I don't have it, unfollow those accounts. They are not feeding you. They are not doing good for you. Just unfollow them. You don't have a sense of joy, or you're not entertained, or you're not learning anything from them. The only thing you get from them is a comparison and I'm not good enough kind of feeling. Unfollow them. And in the same token, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Somebody else that has 1 million followers and you're just starting out. I mean, you're comparing apples and oranges, right? Like, do not, like, what's the saying? Do not compare your middle game to somebody's end game, or your start game to somebody's end game. Like, there's just no comparison. Like, there's not even you can't even compare the two. So get out of that comparison and unfollow any accounts that just don't make you feel great or make you compare against them. And be authentic. And so that's kind of like the real, but what I'm saying here is, because it goes with the compare thing, is, so if you see somebody else that's sharing fitness tips, and maybe, okay, so you like to bake or you like to cook, and that's what your account's about. And you see somebody that's like sharing maybe their workouts, or every day they get on stories while they're on the treadmill or something. And that is something you do every day too. Let's say you like to work out every morning, or you get on the treadmill every day. And so then you start posting treadmill stuff and workout stuff because, hey, I like to do that too. That's not really, just because you're seeing somebody else doing it and it's working for them, that should be what their niche is. That should be what all of their content's about. You're in the recipes and you're sharing cooking and baking or whatever. It's great that you you're working out in the morning, and that is part of your daily life, but that doesn't mean that's what you should be sharing and posting because you see Sally doing it and it's working so well for her. So you want to stay in that niche, and those kinds of things where it's like extra things or sharing other parts of your life besides what your main account is about. Those are the kinds of things that are great for stories. So that people can get that know, like, and trust factor and kind of know who you are behind the account. But just don't post those things because you see them working for somebody else, if that makes sense. Okay. So my last thing, I don't even know if I did 15 there. I kind of did. A couple of them went together, and then I thought about a couple others. So I don't know if they were 15. So there's a few things there to think about. I do want to encourage you, if you are somebody that has not started a business page or started an account, no matter where, on whatever platform, for what you want to kind of start sharing, and you're worried that it's saturated. There's too many cooking accounts. There are too many baking accounts. There are too many fitness accounts. I'm telling you, and I'm encouraging you right now, do not let that be the reason why you're not starting, because there is not one single account that's yours or that is going to be like yours. There's not one. So if you're into cooking, the other cooking accounts, the million cooking accounts will not be like yours. The fitness accounts will not be like yours. You are the only person that can bring that content. Sorry, my door. When the heat turns on, my door to my office, if I don't have it shut all the way, it slams shut. So Hilly, she's sleeping, and then that scares her. So sorry about that. So anyway, there's no other account that will be just like yours. You are the only person that can bring that content in a way that you know, in a way that resonates with you, and your audience that you build will follow you because of the way you are presenting it, because of the way you teach it, because of the way you're passionate about it. Nobody else, no other account, I don't care if there's 1 trillion accounts doing the same thing you are, none of them will do it like you will. And so I encourage you, do not let that be the reason why you aren't doing it, because that's not a good reason. That's not a good reason at all. If you've thought about it, I want to encourage you to set up an account after you hear this podcast. I want you to keep these. I wish I knew all of these things when I first started out, fumbling through the social media world, because like I said, I didn't want it. And so I was fumbling and I wish I knew these things when I first started out. So I hope that helps you. And I hope it helps you and it encourages you, and it's also going to help you not waste time on things you shouldn't be doing. So definitely keep these things in mind. I would love to know your accounts. You can tag me on Instagram at My Creative Days, on Facebook, same My Creative Days, on TikTok. I don't know how that works really on TikTok, but you can email me, but I would love to see your accounts, find your accounts. So if you do, post something, tag me and let me know that you listen to my podcast and here's your account. I would love to see them. If you haven't started an account, I would love to see a screenshot of you starting it today or tomorrow. You've been thinking about it. You want to do it. You know you would like to do it, but there's something holding you back, or you just feel like, again, it's saturated, or I don't know where to start, or don't let those excuses stop you. Start it today. We all have to start somewhere. Keep these tips in mind, and I want to see your accounts. So reach out to me so I can find you. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if this is helpful. If there's other topics you would like me to cover here on the podcast, email me please at lindsay@mycreativedays.com, and I will be sure to check those out and get them on the schedule. But until next Monday, have a great week. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.